I had a lot of experience with classmates saying that they were depressed when I was a little kid, and that gave me the impression that, oh, depression is this horrible, debilitating, endless suicidal ideation, endless suicidal thought, endless hopelessness, endless shame. I thought it was that. But then when I first started seeing a therapist, she was like, yeah, that sounds like depression. And I was thinking, wait, so me feeling lonely and sad and crushed as if like I'm a gecko being falling off a wall. That's a weird metaphor. And she was like, yeah, that feeling of shame, guilt, loss, loneliness, that's depression. And throughout the world, there is a lot of social media and the influence that social media can have on people. Now, a very simple way of describing depression is being focused on the past. A very simple way of describing anxiety is being anxious of the future, is being worried about the future. And I find that whenever you're trying to compare anxiety and depression, it's always going to be hidden under some sort of facade or mask, at least in my case. So, who am I? I am Eusebius Kamiano, or Kamiano Eusebius, whatever the fuck you want to call me, and I have a psychotic disorder on the schizophrenia spectrum, two anxiety disorders being GAD and OCD, generalized anxiety disorder and obsessive compulsive disorder. I struggle with an eating disorder and an addiction to alcohol. It's been kind of a really wild ride these past 22 years, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm currently in college, studying for my master's in psychology, and hopefully my dream job is to become a counselor while also making mental health content online. So we're going to be going over another TikTok that I saw. It's a very interesting TikTok, and I think that a lot of people can relate to it more than me talking about my experiences in mental hospitals or my experiences with mental illness that many people don't have. I thought it would be good to take a video that talks about something that much more people can relate to. So it's a video about depression. So that was interesting. You see, when I was growing up, I was depressed, and I have no idea where people seem to get these ideas. When I was in the mental hospital, this is kind of like a side story, but when I was in the mental hospital, I remember I was talking to one of the head psychiatrists, and she was talking to me. She's like, "You sound like a very anxious person," and I was like, "Yeah, I get paranoid about a lot of weird things, but I wouldn't say so. I wouldn't say it's like bad." And then at the end, she was like, "Okay, based on how we observed you, based upon, the way you react, based upon the routine that you have and the way you manage yourself and things in the mental hospital," she was like, "You have anxiety." And I'm sitting here and I was like, yeah, I know, but it's not that bad. I mean, it's not debilitating. I just do weird things, like washing my hands 3 times or being cautious of doorknobs. And she's like, based upon the parameters of OCD, we think that you have OCD. And I'm sitting here and I was like, interesting. So in my mind, I was thinking, yeah, I'm anxious, but anxiety isn't something that I generally regard with much attention. I much more fall in line with depression, if anything, and the doctors didn't see any depression in me, which kind of relates to the TikTok that I just showed you, because I am easy to hide my emotions. But then it also depends on the emotion, because it's not that easy to hold in anger. But I can hold on to sadness, I can hold on to happiness, I can hold on to my emotions relatively well, to the point where people don't even know that I'm feeling it. It took a doctor telling me that I was depressed before I believed that I was depressed. I had a lot of experience with classmates saying that they were depressed when I was a little kid, and that gave me the impression that, oh, depression is this horrible, debilitating, endless suicidal ideation, endless suicidal thought, endless hopelessness, endless shame. I thought it was that. But then when I first started seeing a therapist, she was like, yeah, that sounds like depression. I was thinking, wait, so me feeling lonely and sad and crushed as if like I'm a gecko being falling off a wall, That's a weird metaphor. And she was like, yeah, that feeling of shame, guilt, loss, loneliness, that's depression. And she was like, so this makes sense why you tried to kill yourself. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I was like, yeah, but it was also the voices. But the voices weren't as loud when I first started seeing a psychiatrist. Right after my grandfather died, they were not a bit loud. I mean, they were so loud that I would sob during class. Not fun. But as time went on, I learned how to manage my emotions and how I portray myself. You see, when you suffer with something that you can't fully understand, you are kind of forced to not show it. You're forced to put up a facade that you're okay, that nobody is any wiser. You know, you're supposed to take whatever you're experiencing in stride and move forward, which is what I try to do. I definitely try to do that, but sometimes I fall short. And just like the girl in the TikTok that I just showed you, it's a hidden talent. It's a hidden skill that people have. When people don't want to show themselves, when people don't want to portray themselves as being the weak person that they actually are, that's when you put up these walls. And I find that when you have walls up, it's a lot more difficult for people to become friends with you, to relate with you, to talk to you, to be approachable in general. When you have these walls up, socializing isn't exactly easy anymore. And it's not like it was easy before, but it's gonna be much harder, I mean. It's gonna be much harder now that you've put up walls around you. So yeah, that was my little spiel on this TikTok video. I really do hope you guys enjoy these TikTok videos. I've done a couple and you guys seem to like them, so thank you for watching. If you're in an emergency, I have emergency links down below. If you want to DM me, you can also DM me and all that fun stuff with my accounts in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Stay healthy, guys. Honestly, stay healthy. Physically, mentally, stay healthy. And yeah, catch you in the next one. Ahuya ho, malama pono.